Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our next session. This is a Diamond sponsored session with Rapid SOS. And this session is, well, I will just actually, you know what? I'm going to do exactly what it says there and get the F out of the way. Take it away, my friends.
Thank you, Ricardo. Um, we always get a little bit of raised eyebrows when we talk about this session, and tongue in cheek, right? We're all telecommunicators here, and we've all had our moments in the comm center to where we've understood there's a different culture sometimes when things get really busy. So today we're going to talk about getting the F out of the way, right? Let's really focus on the fear component of this and just get it out of the way and talk about all the cool things that are coming up that are going to help you in your job, but not just you. The folks that you're fixing to hire, really getting them into a position to where they want to be in the comm center with you. It's a little bit of a change, right? We've been trying to pull people in, but now with new technologies and the way the job is changing, we can actually lure them in. Like earlier, I'm joined by three amazing people this morning. Sam Silva, who gets to work as EC Engagement Manager in the Rocky Mountain region. Amazing. Leah Harms, she gets to work as a manager for training and engagement. She's also an author. Google that. And then Leslie Whittam, who, if you've been around Nina at all, in training at all in your career, you know Leslie. And Leslie is our Director of Training and Engagement for Rapid SOS. She's responsible for all the great content you see in the training center. Wait, there's a training center? Yes, there's a training center. Go into the Unite, click the little three icons. I call it the hamburger icon. Go to training. If you haven't checked that out, do so. There's over 100 courses in there with certificates and all the cool stuff that goes along with that. And if you're a training director, talk to Leslie about getting analytics for that as well, all free of charge. Okay, we like literally pivoted this late last night, so this group is missing on some sleep and we're heavy on energy drinks this morning. So we're going to change that a little bit and get the F out of the way. I'm going to change the F to fun. I'm going to throw some questions up here on the screen here in just a few moments from a panelist here. And then this thing is probably going to devolve really quickly as we talk about what's coming. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Today, Rapid SOS has a pretty major announcement coming out this afternoon. And I think that if you've been around the industry in the last, I don't know, 6 weeks, you've seen it coming. And I understand like most of us are going to be here and there to be great. We can't be in two places at once. So you're going to get an early peek at what's getting announced this afternoon. You are the very first people on the planet to get an early peek about what we're doing this afternoon. You won't get all of it, but you'll get some of it. Okay. So first of all, Slido. If you don't know, Slido is a cool little thing. Hit the QR code up here. Take a picture of it. I think you enter in your email address and you can answer questions as we go along. It gives us really quick feedback from the group as we're moving through. Slido has become one of our cool ways of really getting to conversations if the room is 600 people like it is here today, or if it's just 30 people and they just don't want to talk. That's cool too. So please hit the little Slido button. Answer the first question is going to be where you're joining from. And we've broken these down to our regions here across the U.S. and we'll give it just a minute or so. Yeah, sneak peek for your eyes only. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Sam, big representation from Rocky Mountain, sir. Yeah. Now, later on this little conversation we're having today, not really presentation, but
What
conversation, we're going to throw some more. What? Do what? Go for it.
what's Texas? Like which one is Texas?
Texas is South Central, madam.
South Central.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not talking
Mhm.
about Los Angeles, South Central in the country.
Yeah. LA is Louisiana, all right, or Lower Alabama, either one. Wow, we've got some good representation, man. I tell you what, you folks in the Midwest, you're up pretty early. So thank you for that. I appreciate that very much. And the Rockies, I don't know who's here from the Pacific. Bless you. It is early here. I know it's early there.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah, I saw somebody from Oregon.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Idaho, same time zone as Oregon, so they're an hour prior to me. So I know the sun's not up there. So thanks, huge thanks for joining so early or so late, depending on your circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you still
Yeah.
working, right? Okay. Midwest, huge representation. Thank you. Let's talk about some stats right quick. And there's a need for us to simplify ECC or PSAP operations. And we've been talking about this for years, right? I am old enough to remember the day that I sit in a room and there was a round table with downwind directors from across our state. and they were talking about this thing called Phase Zero Wireless. And every director said, I am not taking cellular 911 calls. Not going to do it. We don't get any information. I can't help them. I can't find them. It's not going to happen. And the public said, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. And we had to change, right? And that took so long for us to figure out. And then things like voice over IP came along, device-based hybrid with Rapid SOS in 2018. And now we have all these IoT devices. Things are changing. But what hasn't changed is our need to fill seats, putting buttons in chairs. And so 82% of ECCs today say they're struggling to fulfill vacancies. And if you're one of those folks, drop a comment here. And 85% of those folks say they're struggling with signs of burnout. So Leah, just quickly, I know you did a lot of research for your book. Talk to me about what you found out across this industry about burnout.
It's super prevalent, unfortunately. And, you know, I akin it to what I found with like teachers, for example. So the teaching profession, did you know that most teachers will go get a wonderful 4-year degree to be able to sit in front of classrooms and sit and teach, and they only make it 5 years? For dispatchers, I think it's 3 or 4 is the max that a lot of like averages, which is really sad, you know, that you get into this profession to want to help, to want to be part of something greater, and you have all of this altruism built inside of you, and then you quickly turn sour because, and what's at the end of it is, you know, cold food, okay, a very raw um, sense of, you know, almost like you said, I want to talk on the phone. I don't want to talk to people. Like, how does that happen? How do we get in with this wonderful heart to try and do good, and then have it flip on us in less than 4 years? So the burnout's real. The fatigue is real. I know myself. I felt it, and I was only in 8.5 years, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. So yes,
Yeah.
it's real, and I'm sure anybody on this call has.
Yeah, I agreed. And, here we are talking about fear and fun. And like, oh my gosh, like, how can we have fun in this locale? We can have fun. There's no doubt about it. I think that if you want to have fun, you find the rookie officer, right? And you find every barking dog in the neighborhood and you start sending them out, right? That's like the fun we used to have. It gets a little bit weird. Our job used to be so simple. We could do the small things to have a little bit of fun, but now it's like we're inundated with information coming in, the call volume coming in. And honestly, we're answering calls that are not really emergencies, right? That's, if you talk to most staff, that's really not where they're spending the majority of their time. It's not emergency calls. It's administrative, it's answering questions from the public, et cetera. That public expectation has changed. Some of those calls go into CAD, right? And then we dispatch CAD. Basically, it's a resource management tool, and we dispatch those resources out. But the future's changing. And so this is an open question. If we talk about AI and CAD environments and new car handling techniques and IoT and all these different things and stress, staffing, what scares you a little or a lot about the future of 911 and public safety? What really keeps you up at night thinking, man, maybe I should get out? Or man, the next 5 years are going to be tough for me to get to retirement. So much data. Agreed. We'll talk a little bit about that here in just a moment. No funding to support new technology and training. Yeah, I have a comment about that in a moment as well. Things not yet identified beyond AI. I like that. Data sharing, disinterest, technology changes. Yeah, reliability and connectivity. I wonder if there are other industries who have faced the same thing that we're facing today. Leslie, we did a book internally for our leadership team called The Culture Code, like really growing a great culture. And we talked about burnout really in like the banking industry. They face the same challenges when ATMs came along. I'm that old. Can you talk a little bit about really quickly, like that burnout piece and why it's so important for us to address that really early?
Well, and a lot of what we talked about in the Culture Code, and if you haven't read that book, it's a fantastic book. But our culture, and I think we can all agree, this is a safe space here, that sometimes we get a little bit jaded about what it is that we joined this profession to do. And to Leah's point, it's helping people, and it's recognizing and acknowledging the sacrifices that you make every single day. And we talk about if the only time you're called into the supervisor's office is when you've done something wrong, number one, if you're a supervisor, you need to change that. And number two, hey, as a line level person, hopefully, and I saw somebody mention a revolving door, hopefully that revolving door is from the floor into the supervisor's office and back again. Because it's this constant communication of, hey, what are we afraid of? What's coming? How can I prepare you? What do you need? And it's spending that extra bit of time to have those conversations. Culture really is surrounded around communicating and sharing those ideas and how you can prepare for what's coming next. And sometimes because we're moving so quickly and because the workload is so overwhelming, sometimes we think, oh my gosh, I don't have time. And really it's 30, 45 seconds, maybe a 2-minute conversation about the things that we're going to be talking about in this session and what's happening in this entire conference, of getting to a point where we're excited about what is around the corner instead of kind of digging in our heels and saying, nope, I'm out. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. And it's amazing because we immediately, I saw some things here about generational differences, right? No work ethic in your younger generation, like Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and now we're back to Forrest Gump, Gen A. I mean, it's like everything is changing on the fly all the time. Folks, it's going to get so much worse in a minute. I'm just going to give you a heads up. It's going to get so much worse in a minute with my jokes. That is a real issue because I watch my own children, man. They're like just in their phones all the time, right? And then I realize I am too. I'm like, holy crap, what are we doing? How do we teach these folks how to work who've known nothing in their entire life, their entire existence in this world is in a 6-inch screen? And that's kind of terrifying, right? So I want to move on because I got a lot to get to. We have some options. Okay, we have some options, and we use PSAPs, we can use ECCs, whatever you want to do. We can keep the status quo, right? We don't have to change. We don't have to change our workflows. We don't have to change our training. We can just put our heads in the sand, pretend like nothing's going to happen, and hope we make it through it. And I guess we think that someday it's going to return back the way it was. Okay. That burden falls back on you. And so, Sam, talk to me about keeping the status quo. Like, do we think there's a day coming to where things will go back the way they were before COVID?
You can surely hope and wait around for that. Again, selfishly, keeping the status quo is kind of what led me out of from being underneath the headset and here to Rapid SOS, which I'm thankful for. But again, ask yourself that same question about any other aspect of life. If doing the same thing, is it going to result in something different down the road? The answer is 99% of the time going to be no. We're never going to see those glory days of dispatch that we have in our heads. And begs the question, was it the glory days anyways? But keeping the status quo, from my perspective, no. You're never going to see those glory days again.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. And so the next position, AI point solutions. And what do I mean by that? Once upon a time, many, many years ago, if you've been around for a while, somebody came into your office in the comm center and said, hey, we want to give you this awesome desktop computer and this little monitor. And if you ever have a missing child, you're going to go back here to this special computer and you're going to enter into something called an Amber Alert. And you're going to fill out this little poster thing, and then we're going to print them off, and you can do it all right here. And then that way you can get it out to your people. And nobody ever used it for that, right? We play video games, we watch YouTube videos, it was the internet computer. And then we realized, like, hey, that point solution for missing children doesn't work. So how do I take that information, embed it in a workflow I already have? How about NCIC, right? How about inlets to make sure that I can enter the missing child and generate that Amber Alert at the same time? Oh, that works much better, right? And I can also input, vehicle information. A point solution like that, Amber Alerts, bank hold-up alarms or bank tracking alarms, so things that we have to do that are like one-off events that are in their own separate product, do not work in the comm center. Full stop. And I don't think we'll find solutions here that do that very well. it's cool because it gives you insights about what can be done, right? But again, I want to throw this one out there. Let's say you're working this morning. Just before sun up, you get a 911 call, right? And it's a structure fire. Flames coming from a building. It's residential. There are 2 cars in the driveway. It's time for you to shine, right? You know this is the moment. I guarantee you, nobody today is going to keep up the radio, dispatch fire department. Anytime fire department, be advised, I need 1,000 feet of 5-inch line, I need 400 feet of 3-inch line, and I need 500 feet of 1.25 inch. Timeout 720. And then turn around and key up again and say, anytime fire department, I'm going to need someone to operate a pump. I'm also going to need a nozzle, a wrench, and a spanner. Timeout 721. And then I'm going to go drop tones again. Anytime fire department, I also need somebody to operate the pump and somebody to connect a water flow and somebody who knows how to open a valve. Timeout 722. No. Why do we not do it that way? Because it doesn't make sense. What we do is we dispatch the fire department because they arrive at the incident with all the tools they need on one engine. Welcome to Harmony. We're going to talk briefly in a moment about AI and what that means and how we embed that engine into all the workflows you already have so you're not showing up with a one-off solution set. And lastly, individual purchases without a holistic approach. We've done this a lot. I think about this from 9/11. We had billions in funding come through. Hey, we have a communications issue. Awesome. Let's buy more radios. That's cool. That's the medium. How do we actually change how we actually speak to each other and talk to each other? Well, let's just use plain talk. Cool, but are we actually communicating what we need to communicate? And so how do we make sure that we think about not only the solution set and the purchasing we're doing, but how it actually impacts our daily operations? We're going to talk briefly about that. Technological innovation could simplify operations, right? We understand this. And I'm going to read this for you. Telecommunicators could access key context and communications tools in a single, flexible ecosystem powered by AI to reduce their workload and make decision-making easier. That's a lot. I'm going to sum it up into one little meme. Dear Santa, could I please have something to make my job easier? Could I please have something to help me with my staffing crisis? Could I please have something that also makes these new generations actually want to come work with me? Love, dispatch. Right. And I think we think about this as this is not applicable to now. And we're always the last ones to get anything. We're the last ones to get funding. There's no assistance to ECC grants. No, there's assistance to firefighter grant, but not to ECC grant, right? But every firefighter, every fire apparatus, every fire incident starts in the comm center. So how can we change that? Excuse me. Most of you today on this call are already using Unite platform, right? And you've seen some changes. We're fixing to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to have it at Jameson's expense. And so stop laughing, Leah. Okay. This is what happens when you stay in dispatch way too long and your brain gets fried. Here's what happens. Okay. If I had my Dear Santa letter, it would go something like this. On the first day of Christmas, my rapid SOS gave to me text, voice, and video in my ECC. Yeah, it doesn't rhyme. It's fine. But now I'm going to let Emily talk about what that actually means in real world speak. And folks, there are 12 days of Christmas, so buckle up.
Agencies nationwide are already using the latest text and video tools inside Unite so they can communicate easily with their community across a range of options. Rapid SOS is officially integrated with Apple Emergency SOS Live Video, which allows those in need to share streaming video and recorded media during emergency calls. And in the coming months, we'll launch RCS messaging, allowing telecommunicators to message Android users in a reliable way when calling or text to 911 isn't an option. This is unique to Rapid SOS Unite. All of this comes alongside the traditional SMS-based method of text from 911. And with the addition of real-time transcription and translation for text and video conversations, you can streamline all those communication tools inside Unite. But we're not stopping there. Telecommunicators can now use text from 911 to message any number, providing even more flexibility for your text-based workflows. You can also integrate text sent to your agency's non-emergency number, so you can easily respond to those messages too. We're also thrilled to announce that Text to 911 is coming to Unite, so ECCs will be able to handle incoming text to 911 right inside the same Unite screen you're already using. If you already have Text to 911, you can migrate your workflows into Unite for a rich experience, including multimedia, live video, and language translation. And if you don't have Text to 911 functionality yet, this offers a way to integrate that capability without complicating your workflows or creating another tab to manage. Agencies nationwide
I've got to figure out how to make it go forward now. So
are already using the latest one is coming to Unite. So ECCs will be agencies nation.
There we go. Okay. So first and foremost, we understand text, video, translation, etc. Those things are becoming what we call table stakes. Leslie, you do a lot of training around this, and specifically around how we're using text today inside the comm center. Talk to me about policies, changes in workflows and procedures, and how we're helping that process move faster.
So obviously, with this paradigm shift of how we gather information and how we interact with our communities, there's a real need for making sure that policies, which I compare them to the answers to the test. If you want to be the A+ dispatcher or call taker or fill in the blank rank structure that you are, you follow policies. The challenge then becomes for all of the administrators out there, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to write all of these different policies. And so we recognize how important that is, because you want consistent interaction with all this technology, and you want to set the standard for not just, this is okay, but excellence. So inside the Rapid SOS Training Center, we've taken policies for all of these things that Jameson is going to be walking us through today, and have written sample policies for you. My mantra has always been work smarter, not harder. And so to create a policy from the ground up, super challenging. But if I have a template that I can look at and go, oh, I really like the way that's written, or gosh, that's not quite exactly how my agency would do it, but I can just change this phrase here, and then it fits for what we're doing here at my ECC. We recognize that that's going to give you that level of comfort, not just for you, the administrator, to have that document handy, but also for your line level. We train to what our policies say, and that makes sure that everybody is walking that same line. But what it means is you really have got to have those policies as that foundational piece before you can start to implement some of these things. And so that policies are, and liability and reducing that liability exposure is a huge passion of mine. And if we can help you out, and I'm going to call out Dan from South Florida, he said, hey, create a policy library. So I don't have to go into each section to find these policies. So go into our training center. You're going to see in that gold line training up at the top, a policy library, and check it out. And if there's one that you love that you've written and you want to share it with us, send us an email. We're down for it.
By all means, please share them, because what you have figured out, someone else is struggling with here in the US. They're struggling with that in Canada. Like, how do we actually help them that process? You want to help folks? I can't think of anybody better to help than other telecommunicators. Right. And so you may have the answer someone's been seeking for the last 6 months or a year. Okay. We're going to accelerate because you don't want to hear me sing all morning. On the second day of Christmas, Rapid SOS gave to me 2 ways to translate in text, voice, and video in the ECC. Doesn't really flow well, does it? Okay. Take it away, Emily.
Text and video can be life-saving tools for assisting callers, and they form an important part of the communication tool set for a modern ECC. But we also need to tackle the original form of communication for 911, the audio call itself. So we're pumped that we're extending our communication tools out to call audio. By integrating call audio, you'll be able to see live 911 call transcripts inside Unite. So telecommunicators can easily verify what they've heard without having to ask callers to slow down and repeat information. And if a caller is speaking a different language, the transcript will automatically be translating, bridging language divides. Harmony will also summarize what's known about an incident, pulling out the most important highlights for faster call processing. And with keywording, Harmony knows when important types of calls occur, so supervisors can be alerted to assist or monitor as needed. And it's just getting better from there. Future releases will allow you to reply in English, and the caller will hear their native language spoken to them, using Harmony's AI-powered translation. Outdated translation methods have vexed public safety for years. They're expensive, slow, and frustrating to use, especially when you don't even know the language the caller is speaking. By putting all of these tools for text, video, and voice in a single screen, you can bridge divides for communicating with callers more simply than ever before. Text and video.
Okay. Sam, like, did I just hear Emily say that coming very soon, and we mean like, for us, soon is right around the corner because we're fast. They're going to speak in a language. It's going to translate into English where I can see that. I'm going to speak in English, and they're going to hear me in their language. How does that change the comm center?
Well, Santa, I'll tell you, if I'm being honest, I'm really going to miss the days of struggling on a language line, and that was one of my favorite parts of 911 is those ongoing conversations during an emergency with different languages spoken in my community, of which there's 160 something languages spoken here in Aurora,
Yep.
Colorado. It was a struggle. It's a struggle.
I knew that Aurora is one of the densest populations of different speaking persons, and it's crazy. Like, I didn't think about being that deep. And I was talking to your former boss, and it's like we struggle a lot. And Language Line is facing the same staffing issues that we're facing. Imagine trying to staff what they do with 100 or 150 languages. That's pretty crazy. All right, moving on. There's a full send coming here on day 5, so just get ready. On the 3rd day of Christmas, my Rapid SOS gave to me 3 helicopters. Wait, what? 2 ways to translate and text, voice, and video in the ECC. It's getting better. See, look at this. Helicopters. Emily, take it away.
Here's how we're making call handling workflows even better. With Unite, you can also see your underlying GIS data with just a click. So you can select a point on the map and pull up homeowner information from legacy parcel data, or select your weather layer and see specific storm warning information. This gives deeper context, all in a single easy-to-use view. Next up, we're helping you better respond to commercial trucking accidents. More than 500,000 truck accidents occur annually, creating road hazards and safety risks for communities. And often, these accidents trigger a flurry of calls, most with little actionable information. But now, telecommunicators can get quick access to incident data, such as vehicle details, crash severity, and even speed at time of impact. Finally, we're helping when you are faced with trauma or mass casualty incidents that need air ambulance support. Inside Unite, you'll have direct access to place on standby, request, and track air ambulance resources. You will be able to simply make that request inside Unite. This removes the tedious, time-consuming phone tag for standby, requests, and updates on ETA for your highest priority events. By combining everything, Unite simplifies workflows as a call handling map, putting the most authoritative data and critical tools on a single screen. Here's how we're making.
All right, folks. In the chat, if you're awake and listening, what does that mean to you? Like, we can talk about it here in our panel, but I know firsthand, standing on a scene, making a crazy request. I need 2 pediatric life flights and another helicopter for an adult, and having to search for that and find the right helicopter and try to figure that piece out and pull out the 3-ring binder or go to the Rolodex, and the stress that has on the telecommunicator. Like, man, they're depending upon me to be able to do that live right inside the platform. I'm sorry. For me, that is like one of the most amazing things that I have seen in my time here, because I know of all the calls that we do, if somebody's asking for a helicopter, every daggum seconds matter. I mean, it's every second. It's shaving off a minute. Shaving off a minute on a cardiac arrest patient or somebody who's going through a STEMI and ST elevated myocardial infarction, that minute matters. That's amazing. But not even taking into account traffic accidents, right? And being able to say, hey, put them on the highway or put them at the LZ or whatever it may be. Man, your workflows are changing for the better every single day. Okay. All right. Hey, Kristen. It's the singing for me. Oh, no, it's not the singing for you, I promise you. On the fourth day of Christmas, my rapid SOS gave to me 4 ways to offload call volume, 3 helicopters, 2 ways to translate, and text, voice, and video in the ECC. I have to do that little E thing because okay, take it away, Emily. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Folks, my SSO has signed me out. You're going to have to wait by like 16 seconds for this. Take it away, Leslie.
Sing.
I shan't be singing. I don't want these 874 people to suddenly log off and go, yeah, no, I'm not doing that anymore. But we talk about these helicopters, and I think that's incredibly powerful. Not only are you requesting the helicopter directly into Rapid SOS, but you get to see it fly across your map and arrive. So cool.
Amazing. And apologize for the SSO logging me out. So you can tell what time I get to work in the mornings. It's on a 24-hour cycle. Okay, here we go. Emily.
Unite can already automate your alarm call processing using our AI, Rapid SOS Harmony. Harmony answers the calls and gathers the necessary information before sending it into Unite or your agency's CAD. With this functionality, ECCs offload between 60 and 80% of all alarm calls to Harmony, allowing trained telecommunicators to focus on more critical incidents. And soon, Unite will simplify even more requests for service workflows. First, we're extending support for automation of general admin line calls, so you can spend even less time on questions about fireworks and trash pickup, and more time on critical issues. You can do that in 2 ways. Harmony can answer your general admin line and provide answers based on knowledge you've configured for your ECC, or you can allow your community members to submit requests online. An easy-to-use form connects into Harmony, which transforms those requests into digital alerts. They're then sent into Unite or your agency's CAD, so you can handle them without ever getting on the phone. Together, these solutions automate your non-emergency workflows so you can focus on critical incidents. And in the future, Harmony could serve as a layer of surge protection for your emergency lines. Let's say Harmony detects a car accident and is triggering a flood of calls. Harmony can provide a first layer of screening to determine if those nearby callers are either involved in the accident or have new information. With these capabilities, Unite can give your team their time back, allowing you to set aside non-emergency tasks and concentrate on what matters most. Unite can already...
All right. A lot of comments about CAD over here, right? So, Sam, I know that we integrate with every major CAD vendor in the US and Canada, as well as most tier 2s and a lot of the tier 3 CADs with our APIs. And that matters a lot. But there are certain things we can do in Unite that you can't do in CAD, right? And so how do we bridge that gap? I mean, we have call handling, we have Rapid SOS, we have CAD. So how do we bridge that gap and for the telecommunicator?
That's a big question. How do we bridge the gap between all of the different solutions and data sources inside the 911 center? I think ultimately, especially with a lot of the questions about the CAD, the CAD in the chat that we're seeing, is we want to ask the question, what do you need in CAD? Why do you need it in CAD? And just kind of look at a holistic view of your entire workflow, because forever and always it's been, we need it in CAD, we need it in CAD. And for all intents and purposes, the integrations that we do have with our CAD vendors have been amazing, life-changing, life-saving. So yes, Leslie in the chat mentions we have several APIs with several CADs, one of which includes what we refer to as our alerts API that takes that information that Emily just mentioned from the citizens in your community, from the alarm companies, from Rapid SOS Harmony, and delivers that information into your CAD as in a multitude of facets, but one of which could be a call for service. So just doing our best to bridge that gap and give you that data where you need it.
Beautiful, sir. Amazing. And I think that's one of the amazing things about Rapid SOS is not just our partnerships in the ECC, not just our partnerships with telecommunicators. It's not having 600 to 700 years of experience in the comm center just on this team, not including the responder side. It's the partnerships we have with all of our CAD, call handling, mapping, call recorders, all those vendors to say, what can we help you do next? Right? Because the data is going to flow. We're not going to be able to go backwards. Right. So how do we make sure that the telecommunicator has the data when they need it, where they need it, and as soon as they need it? Okay, I've been telling y'all, day 5 was going to be terrible, and this is where I saw Karen in here, and Karen should be singing this, not Jameson. And matter of fact, Leah's actually got a pretty good voice too. Okay, this is just one of those full sin moments. I'm going to apologize in advance. On the 5th day of Christmas, my Rapid SOS gave to me. CAD to CAD in harmony. What? Yes. 4 ways to call, flow call, volume 3, helicopters, 2 ways to translate and text, voice and video, MIECC. What? Yeah. Take it away, Miss Emily.
We're thrilled to announce we're bringing CAD data sharing inside Unite. With this functionality, you can see data from your CAD incidents inside Unite, and then with just a couple clicks, share it to your neighboring agency for faster coordination and mutual aid. And with two-way chat, you can digitally coordinate resource sharing without the need for phone calls. Let's say you receive a sudden cardiac arrest call for a small child from a neighboring jurisdiction. You can't pick up the phone and call that other agency while also giving pediatric CPR instructions. With CAD data sharing, you can alert them digitally. This will be a game changer. CAD data sharing breaks down barriers between agencies inside the common operating view of Rapid SOS Unite. And now, field responders can even get alerts directly on their smartwatch with support for Android Wear and Apple Watch devices. Responders no longer need to fumble with their phones in critical moments. You can now view incidents and respond directly from your wrist.
Okay. Excitement. I'm sorry. Like, looking at our partnerships with all the different CAD providers and looking at the fact that, we see sometimes many incidents that pop up inside of our jurisdiction, but the call went to an adjoining jurisdiction. Happens a lot. Even today with DBH call routing, it still happens. So how do we ensure that we're actually processing those calls faster in Leah? That comes with a lot of training, right? And so how are we equipping not only the telecommunicator, but also the training for our partners in this space to ensure that we're all on the same sheet of music? Good pun.
Absolutely. I think this is something that Leslie and I are spending a lot of time thinking about and planning for. If you go into the training center inside Rapid SOS, again, 3-line hamburger menu in the corner, down to training, it launches you into a new system, and it's beautiful. There's 100 courses in there that are specific to workflow. For example, like my agency just got agency share and chat. How do I use that? What do I need? What's the sample policy? Boom, you can go just there. But also things that Leslie and I are dreaming about is like, okay, there are probably 5 common call types that we take no matter where we are, no matter where we sit. How can we enhance the workflows of a common call type? And how can we, work through that in a mass incident level? So I think if you guys go into the training center, there's so much in there to make sure that you understand this as a workflow, but also a scenario based. I think that's a lot of what we're trying to work through is how do we make this interactive? How do we make this real for folks that are sitting on the other side of the center? So into the training center you go for the 8th day of Christmas. I don't know, Jameson,
Yeah,
but
we're not going 8. I promise you we're stopping at 7. I promise you, because yeah. Whew. Okay, 2 more days and then we're going to wrap this thing up. This is going to harken back to my favorite Christmas songs. I hope you get the reference. On the 6th day of Christmas, my Rapid SOS gave to me 6 apparatuses tracking, apparati, hippopotamuses, I don't know. CAD to CAD with harmony. 4 ways to offload call, volume 3, helicopters 2, ways to translate MI text, voice, and video, MIECC. Miss Emily, take it away.
With our acquisition of e-dispatches, we've expanded the reach of life-saving emergency data to field responders. For folks in the ECC, this means you can now see the location of field responders using either e-dispatches or I Am Responding, plus the location of officers using Axon body cameras. Even if your CAD goes down, these locations coming straight from the device will continue to update. Unite is delivering on your need to reach whoever you want and however you want. And as public safety's most interoperable ecosystem, Unite cuts down on time transmitting data over the phone or repeating information over the radio. That's how we're streamlining communication. With our acquisition of e-dispatch.
Okay. I noticed earlier, like, hey, when is this going to be coming out, etc. This afternoon, if you get a chance, and don't skimp on Ricardo's sessions here. Please do not. We'll have it on demand later. But the Rapid SOS Unite thing, we'll have Emily, it's going to have Karen, it's going to have Michael Martin, it's going to have a bunch of different folks talk about this in a live environment. A lot more information. You're getting small snippets of what's coming in this afternoon. So, okay. Lastly, on the seventh day of Christmas, Rapid SOS gave to me. Oh, I'm supposed to sing this. I'm not going to. 7 metrics analyzing, 6 apparatuses tracking, CAD to CAD with harmony, 4 ways to awful call, volume 3, helicopters 2 ways to translate and text, voice and video for my ECC. You've been asking for this for years. And we have been quietly cooking in the background. You know why I love Christmas and Thanksgiving so much? It's the hours and hours of prep time, knowing that when everybody comes to your house and sits down to have a dinner, the food's going to be perfect. And it's going to come out, it's going to have flavor, and the house is going to smell of turkey. It's going to smell of dressing, and it's going to smell of your uncle. That's a different thing. But like, you spend so much time, effort, and investment because of the love you have for your family. You want it to be perfect. You want it to be amazing. You want people to say, I can't wait for Thanksgiving next year to come back here and eat with you because I know you put the care and love into this. Millie, take it away one more time, please.
Unite goes beyond call handling reporting to truly inform operations with data and forecast future emergency needs. For many agencies, funding is tied to call volume. As voice-based requests for service move to digital means, you need decision makers to understand that unseen workload. It's not just 911 calls you're fielding. It's non-emergency requests, text conversation, alarms, and more. Agency leaders need to see it all easily. Your dashboard already allows for easy access to see how you compare to NENA standards overall, so you can drill into any problem areas before they impact your agency's funding from the state. But now you can go deeper with agent-level metrics. Use data to inform your training plans and keep tabs on workload when dealing with lots of overtime. And with a future release of sentiment analysis, you'll be able to quantify the volume of stressful calls that an agent has taken in the past week. On-the-fly reporting will be even easier with Ask Harmony search. Just ask your question, and Harmony will gather the data for you. For modern analytics workflows, administrators need to understand all of their data quickly and simply. This equips agency leaders with the insights to understand their full workload, inform training programs, and make the case for additional funding. From telecommunicators to agency leaders, everyone can access simpler workflows in Unite. Unite goes beyond.
Can you smell it? I mean, like, the days of us trying to figure out how to help people on the fly when the semis rolled over on the interstate. We have no idea what's on it. We've got a vehicle trapped underneath it. We've got to be able to dispatch the correct resources. We don't know what's on board. We don't know how many patients. We don't know how many helicopters we need. All of that has changed. And I am incredibly honored to be with this team to bring about the solutions that you've been begging for, that you've needed for years. And again, not the one thing that I need a 5-inch hose or I need a spanner or a wrench. Bringing it to the scene, bringing it to the incident in one engine, all the tools you need. Now, this presentation has been very unique. Agreed. We went on them today because one's lack of sleep, and two, you know what? It's just time for some holiday spirit, right? And I do enjoy that. But it's just as unique as our approach to your challenges. So, simplifying workflows. Leslie, talk to me about local intelligence married to global data.
Well, we have a saying here at Rapid SOS is if you visited one ECC, you visited one ECC. Everybody on this call does things just a little bit different. And so we recognize that while we have all of these partnerships and all of these integrations and all of these great things, it's really making it work for each one of your workflow processes. And so recognizing the value that the connections that you have with your community, the way in which you provide services to your community, all of that locally authoritative information is what we want to help you hone to a fine point. And if we can be a part of that conversation, that's how we want to take what you've got, take what we've got, and marry those two things together so it makes sense and it makes things easier for those people who are coming to work every single day with that mission of how can I help someone and how can I help them faster.
Beautiful. Seamlessly communicating. Not just in the ways that we have in the past, but natively embedded into your devices, Android and Apple, etc., so that it's so seamless not only for the telecommunicator but also the caller. Right? No need to go find a website, download, none of that. Right? Seamlessly embedded. Bring in the assistance to that caller in the time of their greatest need, but also reducing that workflow stress on the telecommunicator. I don't have to guess about actually what's going on. I don't have to guess, what's the suspect actually wearing. So Sam, working in Aurora, language barrier. You're having a person calling a suspicious person, trying to get them to describe the individual. How does it change when they can send you that picture of that individual?
Well, Jameson, you asked if I could smell it, and I can, sir. And what it smells like to me is a culture shift.
Yeah.
Seamlessly communicate, overcoming barriers. When you're on the phone with any one of the members of my community that speak up to 160 something different languages, waiting 15 minutes to get a translator who speaks Farsi, which is a language I wasn't aware of until I worked at the city of Aurora. What does that look like? It looks like time saved. It looks like lives saved. It looks like minutes or more. A little bit more clear and concise communication, overcoming those barriers, and beyond barriers with language and members of community. Barriers that include interagency communication, getting that data to who needs it in the field. The barriers are endless, and it smells like a culture shift to me, Jameson.
Yeah, I agree, man. And if seconds save lives, what do minutes save? I mean, honestly, you're right. It's a change in the culture of public safety being led by 911. Okay, last one, reducing your workload with AI built with you and for you. Now, Leah, we've been playing with Harmony a little bit, right? And we have it inside of our office to where we can actually just ask Harmony questions throughout the day. And it's amazing. Like just the nuance you can put into a question and have like, hey, this is exactly what you're looking for. And I don't spend hours surfacing things, but I think about it from the standpoint of we have a solution that shows like a demo where electric vehicle goes off in the water. And if you're from Canada, I believe you had a family that died because the vehicle went off in the water and they couldn't get out the vehicle because they couldn't lock the doors. It shorted out. Like there are manual releases inside of electric vehicles to open the doors, but you don't know that, right? As a telecommunicator, how do you find that information while that person's on the phone with you, right? Literally drowning. I can't go to Google and be like, hey, what's that make and model you got again? Okay. Do you know what? Okay. You have the dual motor or the single motor version of that? Hello? Leah, how does having AI at our fingertips, surfacing the information in the background, presenting it to us? Do you need this? No, yes. How does that change how we serve humanity?
I'll tell you. So I'm a storyteller, Jameson. In my first week at Rapid SOS, I asked one of our product guys, Tim. I said, Tim, what are we doing with AI? This is a hot button topic that's been talked about. I came from Verizon. Okay, that's where I came from after I know. Boo, boo. After I did a stint, I had to land somewhere. Okay, after I left dispatch, but AI is everywhere, and it is happening no matter what we're doing and what we can control here in our seats, folks. And what I love about what this company did and the answer that Tim gave me is he said, we're listening to what telecommunicators, supervisors, dispatchers are saying, and we're solving problems with AI. And the problem that you just exampled there, Jameson, in that scenario is exactly that. I don't have to search through a manual or go find a binder or go over here and stress out throughout the comm center trying to find the answer to that very specific question. AI is surfacing that information for me in a way that's reputable and true from the actual Tesla manual. And I think that that's a beautiful thing that AI is doing. Not only are we using it to lower call volume and answer alarm calls in a way that we set it up to do, but we're also allowing it to do this, surface and search manuals to then give us answers to questions that we need in 5 seconds. And it's going to be doing way more too. Like Emily talked about, filling out a form. Okay, if you guys see this cutie right here, all right, that's my daughter, Harper. She's at the dentist in this photo. All right, she's part of a generation that's coming up of kids and folks that technology is ubiquitous to them. They know technology like the back of their hands, and they're going to be using it for everything that they do. All right, so everything that we're doing right now with technology is going to be serving future generations of folks that need help. And coming back to what we do every day, aren't we here to serve folks and help them? AI is the tool that we're using intentionally and closed. Like a lot of people think of AI as like, well, doesn't AI, Jameson, doesn't it teach itself? Won't other people know about what I'm doing here in the comm center? What's the answer to that with Harmony, Jameson?
So if you know, and I don't know the depth of this, but from what we have been learning internally from our folks, is like the large language model that we're using is specific to public safety, and it's structured in a way to where there is global information that you can source from public safety. There is regional information you can source related to maybe your region, your state, all the way down to just you locally, like influencing your SOPs on the fly. Like, hey, we've had a tornado warning. How do I run that tornado warning thing again? Thank you, Harmony. Here's your SOP for tornadoes. Like, there's a layered approach, and the separation between those layers creates that security and trust that you've always come to know with Rapid SOS. And so again, it's not about the cool name. It's not about, bringing something to, tagging AI, slap a sticker on it, right? That happened with Next Gen 911. That happened. People would just slap a sticker on it. Hey, it's Next Gen ready. No, it's about taking the time to get it right, because you trust us, and we don't take that lightly. The time and effort that we spent with you in developing all these new technologies and solutions, these things that we're talking about today came from telecommunicators. Like, hey, this is a real problem I'm facing. Hey, I think we can solve that with you. So that's the key piece of it. Again, the Unite thing this afternoon. One last question for the group. Of all the things you've seen today, or not here today, what do you hope Santa's going to bring your ECC? I think for me, I know for me, the things that I love out of this presentation are really tied to things that I've been through in my life, right? And so those things to me are really important. 2 weeks before Christmas, about 3 or 4 years ago, my daughter fell and fractured her skull in 3 places. Early activation of air assets, near and dear to my heart, right? Near and dear to my heart. Other things, maybe it is telematics information for you. Maybe it's the AI component. Maybe it's just figuring out, hey, how do I talk less on the radio? How do I translate what my folks are saying so I can actually understand them better? Maybe it's language translation. Those things are incredibly important. And what we find is when we ask this question, it's like, it really depends upon what the ECC has faced and what the telecommunicators faced. And we're trying our best to make sure that we meet all of those and meet them where you're at. All right. I think that is it for us. Oh, look at this. It's coming in fast. A calm holiday. Yes, Lisa. Please. 100%. Without saying a whole lot, we're doing our threes over the holiday season, right? Things that come in threes. We're at 6 right now on one of those incidents. Let's hope that stops. Anything that makes the task easier. Jameson to sing in person. Not going to happen. There's going to be some AI deleting this recording. PDQ. Better technology to lighten the load. Yeah. Data sharing. Decrease response time. Positivity and less drama. Welcome to Rapid SOS. All right, folks, it has been an absolute pleasure today. We're going to take some information away from us. If you want to talk to any of us online, offline, get together, have a question, don't really know who to talk to, scan the QR code. It goes to everybody on our team. Ask the question. We'll give you some feedback. If you want to reach out to Sam directly, he's pretty cool. He really is. Even if you're not in the Rockies, he's a pretty cool dude. Leslie, Leah, and myself, anytime, shoot us an email. Reach out to us on LinkedIn. Hit us up with the QR code, EEM@rapidsos.com. We need to hear from you, right? Because it's not about next generation 911. It's about a 911 system for every generation, for Leah's small children all the way up to my grandparents. It's a public safety solution set that serves every generation. And we want to do that with you. All right, cool beans. Any questions in the chat, Q&A session? Ricardo, bring us back. I figure out how to stop presenting right quick. Okay. Christian, I gotta get down to Mississippi and see you sometime. It's been far too long.
Dude, that was excellent. All of it. I was listening and troubleshooting stuff for the next sessions that are coming up that are going to be going all at the same time. And it looks like, yeah, support is working on it right now. So I'm running all this stuff. Looking here, though, it looks like there was no actual questions that were submitted. But everybody was thoroughly engaged with what you had there with Slido and such, and the videos. Excellent work. Thank you very, very much once again, all of you, for what you do, and personally as well as with the company and such with Rapid SOS. Thank you for being a diamond sponsor once again, and for giving a sneak peek. When you had sent this stuff over, I was looking at it and I thought, oh snap, we're about to get a preview here. This is going to be good. Yeah, very excellent. I'm excited for everything that you guys are doing, and the singing was superb. That was outstanding.
Okay, you can stop now. You don't have to say that just because it's fine.
I will say this really quick, that when you got to the part about the ECC, it's like you wanted to add a third C. Like I kept doing it in my head.
Well, I was afraid to say PSAP because I was afraid I would say PSAPP, and then everybody would laugh at that, and I was like, I can't do that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, hey, that's it's all good. Either way.
Ricardo, great work, man. Appreciate it so much. Just fantastic work, and thank you for the commitment you have to this community, buddy. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, brother. Thank you for the commitment you have.
I appreciate it. I thank you very, very much. It has been an amazing ride, and it will all continue with everything else that's going to be going on with within the Trenches Media and just all the other stuff. But good luck this afternoon with everything that is going on, and I'm excited to see the rest, man. Again, for all of you, that was a sneak peek. Thank you once again. And now this is going to be your chance. The sessions that are going to be starting at 10 a.m., maybe a little after 10 because of some of the things that we're working on right now. Either way, it's going to be going on. In the upper left-hand corner, there's a button. It says schedule. Click on that. There are 3 different sessions that you can go to. You can choose, and we'll be going live with all of those here momentarily. But we will see you all in the next one there. Thank you all very, very much.